accessorizing, I think it's called. Their Piper dog. Don't you know when someone's accessorizing? A girl's gotta look her best. I got guys today. I tell you, little one. Anyway, back to the catwalk. Feed. Feeding. Going in the shop. Feeding. Riding. Feeding. Feeding. These girls. That's rubbers. And there's the squishers. First time on the new slab. Yeah, I know I don't have the crack cuts done yet, but be a good time. Yeah. Okay, the ladies are a little tentative here, but what is happening as we speak, I'm gonna let you out here, is I'm trying to lure them into the ravine. So now that hunting season is sort of winding down, still got some balloon heads coming out in the dark. I'm trying to chase them away. Almost every night I'm chasing people. So yeah, now I think it's safe to let the cows come away from the yard and come back down here, because as you can see, this is not finished down here. We shut them off of here as hunting season was getting close and the calves were starting to get out more. So figured we'll save this for later on. So brought a bale down here just to get them out the gate. So once they're out here and they know this is here, they'll spend more time down here. That's what I'm hoping anyway. They'll still have to come up to the yard for water, because as you can see, our water is sort of in a solid state right now. And that's the really dangerous part, is that the cows try to step out onto it and fall, but here's hoping. Anyway, that's where we're at. Happy girls. Yeah, they want a fair bit of regrowth after we brought them out. So yeah, they'll have a good bit in here. That's right, before we let them have that one. So at least that way we'll be able to dial back on the bales. Probably still give them silage, but Yeah, they're all starting to bulk up their winter padding. Old slowpokes. More feeding. Yeah. And you might have noticed, it's blue this time, not orange. Oh, golly gosh. Don't pay attention to the drips. Hydraulic oil, engine oil, diesel oil. Yeah, it's all of the above. Ironically, this oil here is coming from the general area of where they replaced the seals. Because when they put a new clutch in this, they were putting new seals both sides, so transmission and crank. So I don't know what that is. That's mystery oil. It's what we call in the business self-lubricating fluid. Back to the point at hand. Why am I in here? Wow, you are close up and I think the lens is dirty. Well, it's probably dirty because of the state of my hands. Well, there's been an issue with this tractor. One of the issues with this tractor, should I say. Actually, I will crawl out ninja style. Jeepers, oh my gosh. Yes, my ninja moves. Very old geriatric ninja. You'll go, whoa, what happened there? So, here's a hose that goes to there, and that's a tap. Now you can't see it yet, and you can tell this has been joined at some point. There is a lot of muck in there. There's literally no way to get in there. Unless you have the tractor split, which, you know, we had somebody paid to split this tractor and they never bothered fishing all that stuff out. They just tore it apart, stuck it back together, and, you know, don't worry about doing nothing extra. No. Anyway, back to the point at hand. So, this is the heater hose. I think this is the main line and this is the return. Well, the return has a hole in it. So this tractor has been out without cab heat for a couple of winters, well, many winters. We just never used this last year. That was one of the predominant reasons. That's why we used the old red one. Now, the old red one did the job. But as you all know, the old red one does not have in-cab anything. Fan, cold, heat. Well, it's cold in the winter and it's hot in the summer, so you can call that AC and heat. Anyway, so today I was out and the windows are steaming up while I was trying to film and feed, and I thought, bugger this, I'm going to turn on the tap and see how bad it leaks. Well, the coolant was going everywhere. Well, I managed to stick my camera in there with the light on and I found out where it's leaking, and it's just at the bottom of this hose. So I thought, as most tractors, that hose goes up the A-pillar. So that's why the roof is up and the floor is out. But no, the hose goes up the B-pillar. Yeah, not that one. That one, see, this is the A-pillar because the front of the cab. That's the B-pillar, that's the C-pillar. Yay! I might have educated somebody today. So, that's what I figured out by going up there, because I thought I was going to have to pull the whole hose up. Because if it's burst there and it goes right to there, there's nowhere I can get it, because this is sealed, and there's no way to get at anything in this area. So that's what I was doing there. Then I realized the hose comes out there. So then I realized, I don't know if you can see it. You might not be able to see it. Right there, the two hoses go up and in. So I can actually grab that hose here, cut it and splice it and put it back through, and then I'll have heat. So I'll bring you back when I get somewhere further. Okay, so forgive the choppity chop. I had to cut the hose because I couldn't get that to go backwards through what's all going on in here. But as we can see, not far behind what was going on there was this. So yeah, I don't know if it's because of the heat or because of the petroleum products. Actually, there's a big gouge right there. So yeah, you can kind of see where it's coming out from underneath the frame there. So the rest of the hose is really good. That's why I snagged it off back here, where I've got from there to here before it goes back in there to put the splice in. But yeah, this is I don't know how many hours this tractor has. The hour clock has never worked since we got it, and the digital dash and these 30 series had issues. The digital dash has just quit. I think they said there's a company that will rebuild the dashes for $1,000 down in the US. Just gotta send it to them. So there's about another $1,000. So maybe at some point I'll do that. But at some point this tractor needs mega breakdown. The injection pump needs sent away because it's got leaks everywhere. The engine is probably due a rebuild. It's got about, we figure it's about 8,000, if not 9,000 hours on it. Somewhere in there. Give or take. That was my estimation, and the guys, because I know the guy that was doing the split, because he was one of the only guys who knows these old, these are called Super Qs. So you've got the 10 series and then the 30 series. He's the only one in the shop that actually had any experience with these. Anyway, because this is the power shift transmission, that's why he took this one on, and he said he figured, going by what was going on in here, it was about that 8,000 or 9,000. He said nope, he didn't think it was any more than 10. But yeah, so, and that's the thing, is you get to this age, O-rings start to go, seals start to go, fittings, hoses start to go. A lot of the wiring is sketchy. Like, I don't even know where that goes. These are just plugs that are just hanging. I don't know what they're for. So I'm going to clean them and either cap them or try and find where they go, because they drove in here, so we'll go from there. Anyway, turns out in my box of hoses and stuff, I don't have this precise size. I don't know, I think it's like 5/8. I have everything but 5/8. Buggers. Anyway, it's the end of the night and I'm done. I could literally have a wee tear to a glass eye. Yeah, I know, leaks everywhere. I was about to walk away after I switched off from the last clip, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go over there into the pile of stuff that came from the other workshop, and I'm just going to check, because I know I have bits of hoses and things, and there was some hydraulic hose, and I thought, well, that's the right size, but I would never get it up over the barbs, so nah. And then I saw this bit of hose and I thought, I wonder. And then if you look a little bit closer, 5/8 heater hose, and there's enough there with a bit of slack. And from what I can tell, it does not look like it was taken off because it got a hole in it or something. Knowing me, it's really gonna put a hole somewhere. No. Positive thinking, Piper Doug. Oh. Bad tractor. Bad. Okay, so we're making headway. Cap's back on. Big old Sipper Q's got his white hat back on. Floor's back in. It's kind of rised up. As you'll see, there's a hose on there. So I've left the join down here. I wanted to leave more hose in there than I needed, and then pushing it back up into the frame actually put a bit of a kink in it. I just felt where I have the hose now, it's not gonna have that sort of kink in it that was in the old one there where it blew apart. So as far as I can tell, that's gonna be okay. What I'm thinking of doing is bypassing the coolant filter. Because for as often as I'm changing the coolant in this tractor, I don't know if the filter is really worth it. This hose is getting pretty bad, and the other one there comes out here, so I might just cut it and stick it back on here and just leave that like that for now, because I don't have a new coolant filter for it, and I want to replace at least that one hose. So I might just bypass it for now and then maybe look at putting it back on afterwards. Still don't know where that goes to. I don't know if maybe that was like, because I think there was a light pod that used to be here on the European tractor, so I don't know whether that plug is for that. What we're at, and I've now found out why there's coolant here. Turns out it's not the brand new water pump. It's that. So that was leaking before I even turned it on. So that means the O-ring in there is perished. So I've got to drop the coolant. Oh, I've got to drop the coolant out. Because to take that off, it's just gonna blag all the coolant out. And I think if I'm going to bypass, because I don't trust this. Because if you look at that, that's just looking for a problem to happen. So, yeah, I dug it as much, oh, I'm in the light. If you can see in there, I dug as much of the crud. As you can see, there's a good pile down there. I dug as much of the crud out of there as I can. But like I said, at some point, all of this is gonna come off and go in there, because I know the steering motor, which is in there, has a little bit of a dampness to it. So that's gonna be a job. But we're dealing with most important things right now. I think I have a leaking O-ring back there, which is leaking down around all these filters. But this is first protocol. And the great thing about these Fords, they made it just that little bit extra difficult to drop the coolant out. Because there's the tap. Yeah, right beside the frame rail. Not in the middle where all the rest of them have it, where you can just drop a hose down through the opening by the dampener pulley there. No, that would be too easy. Oh yeah, and by the way, that's how you can tell the difference between these big long nose 30 series, which is the exact same as the TWs, because the 86s, before you get to the 87s, the 86s, as you can see by there, this is where the tractor stops. So you'd have your radiator, and then you would have the grill right there. And then the hood would stop right there. Exhaust would be further back, because as you can see, the exhaust is here to there. So the exhaust would be here. And then you would have a fuel tank. Whereas these big buggers, the 8730, the 8830, the TW20 and up, have this elongated nose. We have two sets of belly weights that actually go up in here. but we don't run them because it's just extra weight. And they are predominantly for when you're doing heavy tillage with duals on this, or you have 3-point arms. And as you will notice, this tractor has neither, but it does leak. Most of these leaks are from the these. So at some point, that's going to be a fun job. Anyway, let's get to draining. Oh, this is such a drain, such a drag. Well, what was supposed to be a one-night job, we're now at night 3. And you'll notice the ground has got substantially wetter. Yeah, that's how things go. Pretty well. Oh, my cat thing's not even catching anymore. You catching? We're catching. We're catching stuff. Oh, what's going on here? There's the hose. The repair job. What's that? So yeah. Fixed that. Started putting the coolant back in. The next thing, this tap became wet. So I took it apart thinking, well, it's an O-ring in there. That's what's the problem. There's your problem. No. So, see if I can move this around a little bit. Just bear with me, everybody. Bear with me. Okay. So, the threaded part is what is the plunger. So that closes off this chamber here to stop coolant coming into the heater line. So this part here, which is movable, is the seal that sits in here. So it turns out age, shrinkage, all the rest of it, just a minute, that there's no longer sealing the seal, and can't get the seals right away. You have to replace the entire tap. So gone to my little box of tricks over there and got one of these skinny tiny little seals that fits right up against the shaft part here. So I replaced the one in there, put them back together, and then realized the bypassed piece of hose which is laying there that went from this tap to the filter and back up to here, where I'd anchored it here, the hose had just split as soon as I tightened up the hose clamp. So I figured the hose is perished. It doesn't even feel like rubber anymore. It's like jelly. So yeah, it's junk. So I had some more hose kicking around. So that's a brand new piece of, as you can see, braided rad hose there. So it's in. Filled it back up, and then this one started leaking. So little O-ring in there. Going to put it back together and get her fired in there, and hopefully this will be the last time. You hear me, Big Blue? This will be the last time I fill you up for a while. Till next week. Anyway, yeah, it's just sitting here dripping like an old man. Well, he is 30. He's 33 years old next year. A big fella. Anyway, put the tap back together. It's just one thing after another. So that's one of the next little projects, and yeah. So, issue we had was This is a new alternator. And when we put it in, and there is no more adjustable. See, this adjusts that way. I know the bracket makes it look going this way. It's actually the other way. So I need to get a shorter belt. And I don't have one, so still works. It just it's not keeping up on the charge as it should. So that's another one. Yeah. I don't go looking for it. Let me just clear that up. I don't go looking for it. It finds me. I don't have to go anywhere. I think it's still dry. It's still dry in there. Yeah. So you might notice some panel work and some missing work. Yeah, oh yeah, there's the tombstone, because this is where the weights go. These rails here, this is where the weights hang. And you know what? There was 2 of the slabs here, because the kids were using them for weightlifting. I might have taken them back down to the bale yard, because we actually, they're not here. We actually have 2 sets. We have 2 sets of the slabs. And yeah, they're 45 kilogram, and they're more discs than like the normal tractor weights, because they're very slim, because they sit from there to there, and then they slide in wafers. And there's 14, if I remember correctly, that fit in there. And then there's a pair of specialty bolts that clamps a lot together. And yeah, right there. It bolts into the end of that. See, and there. So it holds the slabs back to that. We really have no reason to have them in. Like I said, it's mainly you have those nose weights for when you're running the duals and you're doing tillage, to kind of hold the nose down, to put more pressure on your grip wheels. So baling, you really don't want all that big weight bouncing around out there, because it'll kill your axle, kill your pivots, all that stuff. I've actually rebuilt the towers. That was fun, as you'll notice. See, there's a threaded rod. There's none. Yeah, that one got a lot of heat, got a lot of hammering. Needless to say, it's not going anywhere, but anyway, that's another story. So this is off. One of the reasons I'm in here is because of this. This wiring has been bastardized, mucked around with. One of the family was in there and added these lights that I picked up years ago. They're good lights. The other one is around somewhere. It's actually still fine too. But because the out here, and like I said, the wiring is very sketchy. As you can see, all the covering has started cracking, so I'm gonna peel the covering off. I'm gonna put the wires back into some pieces of hosing. Probably just clean up the connector, make sure we're getting good conductivity from the cab. Make sure they're working. Put them back up inside where they should be. And then for whatever reason, that nose plate had jumped out of the peg, because they sit in the pegs and then they fit up and then they bolt up in here. That's those 2 bolts there. So this wiring has to go back inside. That's why so yeah, I'm gonna get I'll be fixing this. One of the things I'd like to do is put a switch. Ooh, that's bad. Put a switch where I can switch those lights off and just run these lights. Because the problem I have is when those lights are on, it lights up this soccer field of a hood and exhaust. So when you're looking for a swath away out in this direction and you've got this big bright blue hood in front of you, yeah, it's a bit bothersome. It's not the end of the world, but so what I'd like to do is to put a toggle switch where I can turn the lights on and then I can switch them off and just run these. But I don't want to put these back on. I will show you why. Bear with me, I'll be back in a second. So, what I was saying was, the reason I don't want to put these back on is I would like to go with LEDs, yes. But something that looks a lot more like what was there. So if I can find I think these are 5-inch, because these are 4-inch. Something like that. And put them in these housings, or you'll just order modern ones, maybe. Because I'd like to do that, because I think these look well smart out here, proper, on their brackets, which are these guys, except these guys have got modified. Not entirely sure how. Well, we'll be fixing that also. So, anyway, one job at a time. Okay, it's time to get this wrapped up. I've dragged this out long enough. I've put you guys and girls through way too much. And yes, we're back here. As you'll see, the nose is back on. The wires are not done quite yet. I was kind of busy tonight doing a house project. So this is the belt that I need to get a shorter one. Turns out I should have been replacing it anyway. Yeah, that's not good. So the good thing about these tractors, it's quite easy to change these belts out. All you have to do is slacken off this geezer and pull his belt off. That belt is actually not that old, so I don't need to worry about replacing that one. The water pump one, I might take a quick look at that before I head in the house tonight. The other thing I was finding out from the Facebook forums is it's cheaper just to take the panels off the tractor and take them to a local printer and have the decals made than it is to buy any of the ones from predominantly the UK. It's hard to get these over here. So yeah, basically just slide the side panels off, unbolt the front panel. Actually, I wouldn't actually have to take the front panel off. I would just measure this and then those two little ones and just get them to make me a length of this stuff. But they have to replicate these two, because I think these are the only two that have printing on them. Yeah. Anyway, so as you can see, I've got most of the chains from there. Soaked them, brought them out, used the drawbars and anvil, loosened them all up, put them back in, soaked them, and they're all good. They're actually still really tight, which is really weird. There's a bit of a new development, the bottom side of the tongue, and if you can look up in there, it's not in great shape, but luckily enough it's the top part that takes all of the pressure. But I might end up putting a gusset or something on there, but that's down the road. So like I said, the wiring, replace the belts. It seems to be holding coolant for the moment. The only last thing left to do is, as you can see here, you can see there's an Allen key there. There's 3 plugs in that block up there, and I can tell at least 2 of the plugs, either the O-rings are perished because I cannot tighten the plugs up anymore. So, looks like I'm gonna have to pull the plugs and replace the O-rings. And I'm wagering that the O-rings for those are the 1 or 2 sizes in my 2 boxes that I'm running low on. Yeah. Anyway, question for everybody out there in YouTube land. I a good internet website, preferably on eBay, for shop manuals for broad spectrum of machines. Not this, because I'm looking for a manual for that. So shop and owner's manual. I'm looking for the shop and owner's manual for that plow down at the bale yard as well. And I'm also looking for a shop and owner's manual for the Takeuchi skid steer. So in the comments, please everybody, give me all your best ideas for internet and hopefully eBay. I'm not a big Amazon person, so yeah, any help that would be greatly appreciated. Later this week, I'm hopefully going to haul the tin home for those shelters out there. So, look forward to that in the next episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. You know, if you can find more folks to spread the word of Piper Doug, hallelujah, oh hallelujah. There's a picnic. Anyway, see you all next week, everybody. Teddy bye. Have a good week.